Welcome back to Couch Talk, everybody. I just got out of Captain Marvel, and I gotta say, it's not the diluted mess I thought it was gonna be, but it's definitely not at the top either. It's definitely at the bottom of the barrel in terms of Marvel movies. But hey, it's not the dumpster fire I thought, so. This movie, there were moments where I was like really into it, and then there were moments where I was really kind of losing it. Like I was getting really like bored. And I gotta say the pacing in this movie is just fucking awful. Like there's so many different subplots in this movie that they clearly wanted to introduce all these new things while doing her origin story and also tying into the Avengers and also tying into how certain things that we know that happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe came to be. And it's just like they crammed all this shit into this one movie, and it feels like you could feel it. It feels like the writing, like this whole movie's being made to tie up loose ends almost. And I don't know, when the movie was trying to be a movie, it was just really corny. They pulled a Solo. They added a lot of things in there where it's like, in the Solo movie, you find out how he got his name. In this, you find out where the Tesseract came from, and you find out how the Avengers got their name, which was fucking terrible. I hated that. You find out how she gets her colors, and just all this stuff. And do we have to have that whole subplot in there of like her not knowing who she is and like trying to get her memory back just so she can go over the character arc of learning that she has the strength inside her that she always needed and she doesn't need anybody else's help, which is also very reminiscent of the whole Rocky quote, which is amazing actually that they were able to capture a physical version of the phrase that Rocky says to his son, where he's like, it doesn't matter how hard you can hit, it matters how hard you can get hit and keep going. Like, if they were going to turn that quote into something you could actually see, that would have been it. The movie works well when it's being a buddy cop movie. It also works well when it's being a mystery. It also works well when it's being a drama. It doesn't work well when they try and cram it all together, which is what this movie does. It feels like there's 3 different tones in this movie, and alone, it's not a bad thing. But when it quickly shifts tones from like this quick-witted buddy cop dynamic between Brie Larson and Sam Jackson, where they're like talking shit to each other, and then out of nowhere, boom, it's like her crying about not knowing who she is to like her best friend that she hasn't seen in 6 years. I was like, whoa, this is 2 completely different tones, and it doesn't feel comfortable transitioning. So that was kind of bad. And Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, I'm not feeling it, man. I mean, she's not a bad actor. Like, I really liked her in The Room, and she was meh in Kong. I mean, she wasn't bad, but she did what she had to with the source material that she was given. But in this, she's just not believable as a superhero. The fight scenes don't look right with her in it. Like, they look like they're choreographed. It looks very uncomfortable for her to be doing it. It doesn't flow naturally. And I think also a lot of it has to do with just the source material she was given. Like, she's so cocky at the end of this movie that it's, like, unsettling. One of the things I loved about Wonder Woman was the stakes. Like, you knew there was going to be loss, and she wasn't invincible. Captain Marvel's fucking invincible. More so than Superman. Like, when Superman came in at the end of fucking the Justice League and just fucked Steppenwolf up like that was nothing compared to Captain Marvel. She took out an entire army in the span of seconds. She was pretty much a level 100 character in a video game versus level 1 enemies. Like, it was just a slaughter, a massacre, a slaughterhouse. And there were just no stakes. Like, a movie like this, I'm supposed to be on the edge of my seat, like, oh god, there's a chance for them to fail, even though you know they're not because it's a superhero movie. But in this, it's like, no, she's just straight fucking 3,000 in it right now. She's just running through them like they're paper. And it's disappointing that that's how it ends. Like, this is supposed to be, like, the leader of the Avengers, but she's just so cocky, and it's like, she's not a vulnerable person. She knows she's hot shit, she thinks she's hot shit, and I don't think the leader of the Avengers should be someone that automatically thinks they're the best in the world. Like, Captain America is a good leader because he believes everyone is equal. He doesn't believe that he's above anybody, and it's, all for one and one for all. With Captain Marvel, it's like, her shit don't stink. She knows she's the best, and she's gonna act like the best. And I just don't think that's good material for leadership. Aside from her, everyone else's performances were great. Jude Law was great. Sam Jackson was great as a young Nick Fury. And Jesus Christ, the fucking CGI on him to make him look young is phenomenal. It's amazing. It's amazing the world we live in that you can get away with turning a 60-year-old man into a 30-year-old man. I mean, Jesus. Got Nick Coulson back for all of like 3 minutes, but he's okay in it, I guess. Ben Mendelsohn is the real standout of this movie. I was a little concerned and like confused as to why everyone was saying his performance is so good, because he always just plays the same actor in every movie he's in, or the same character in every movie he's in. Like, in Robin Hood, Ready Player One, Star Wars, this. Like, he's always like this. He's always the bad guy. He's typecasted. fuck, he is great in this movie. There's a twist in it where you find out that the Kree are actually good guys, and my god, I was blown the fuck away. You got me. You got me, Marvel. I did not see that coming, and usually I could predict these movies from a mile away now, but that I really liked, and I really loved his character arc. I thought it was really beautiful. And I loved the fight between him and Sam Jackson because it's probably the only action you got out of Sam Jackson. The only reason he was there to just talk shit and say one-liners, which was great. I mean, he was great in the movie, but he was really underutilized. I thought he was going to have a more important role, but he really didn't serve anything. If anything, the cat, which was probably the biggest standout of the movie, my favorite character, fucks more shit up than Sam Jackson. The movie's funny in parts, and the certain segments of the movie are cool. Like, I love the whole buddy cop thing, but it just wasn't coherent. It was just too convoluted, too much of a mess. The action was filmed really poorly. Like, the directors clearly didn't know how to film an action scene, because not only did Brie Larson not look good doing the scenes, but they also filmed it where everything was dark or too bright or too up close or too shaky, and I don't know. I wasn't invested in the action scenes, and that's a problem when I'm going to see a Marvel superhero movie. The score was great, though. 90s music. Grew up with it. Love that shit. That's not enough to make this movie good. It's just a mess. It feels like there was multiple different writers. It's not fluid. It's really corny. They did this thing where, like I said before, they're giving us reasons why the Avengers are called the Avengers, and it's based off of the fact that Brie Larson was called Carol Avenger Danvers when she was a pilot, which is just so fucking stupid that the Avengers are named after her name. Like, come on. Come on. Anyway, God, it's so hard to rate this. I'm going to give it a 5.5. It's a little bit better than Thor, The Dark World, I guess. They really won me over with the whole Kree twist. I really like that. And the cat. Really love the cat. I'd like to see a movie. I'd like to see a movie of just Sam Jackson and the cat. And you know what? I would see a Captain Marvel again. Another one. Under better directing and writing, though. And they gotta give her more of a human element to her. Because this whole her flying around cocky shit ain't gonna fly with me. And I'm sure it's not gonna fly with a lot of people, because that is not leader material. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited to see this? What do you think of the controversy surrounding Brie Larson? And what do you think of her being the face of the new Avengers? Also, as a side note, if she comes in and fucks up Thanos at the end of Avengers, I'm never gonna watch a Marvel movie again. Because that movie needs to end with the original cast, the original Avengers, battling him and taking him down. Not fucking Captain Marvel. She should come in and help, but she shouldn't be the one to kill him. If they do that, Marvel, you lost me as a viewer, which I'm sure my one vote doesn't mean shit to you, but when a fucking billion other people do, you're gonna be upset. Anyway, let's talk about it down in the comments below. And as always, I'll catch you next time.